All right, for sure. Welcome back to episode 2 of the Big Man and the Fan. Of course, I'm the fan, Matt. My big man here is my big man, Shane. Let him know you here, Shane.
What's good, man? What's good, man? Let's just the trades happened. We
Yo, you
talked
diving
about
straight
it.
in. You diving
I
straight
was
in.
straight in, man.
All
The
right, for
trades
sure.
happened. It
All right,
happened.
it
Talk to
happened.
me. What you think?
Okay. Um, I like that they got Bogey the fuck up out of here. It's not that I didn't like Bogey. I just felt like he was wasted time. I
Yeah,
just felt
man.
it was wasted time. Um, I do like that they got a little younger, and it feels like this at this point they're trying to actually build the team. Like in the
Yeah.
beginning, it was like, "Yo, we just trying to deal with the team that we got, see what's here." But now it's like,
Mhm.
"Nah, fuck that. We not even gonna wait till the off season. We just gonna scrap what we got, see what we can get, and build off of that instead of just wasting the
So,
first 2 months of the season next
yep, for sure.
year."
I agree with you. I love what a. Go ahead. There's a few things I want to touch on, but I don't want you to lose your point. I don't want you to lose
Oh
your
no,
point.
no, no, yeah, that. I mean, Kevin Knox got traded by the Pistons again. I mean, I don't understand, man. I don't understand how you keep bringing this guy back and you keep sending him away. If I'm him, I'm telling him. If I'm him, I'm telling my agent, "Yo, bro, don't answer no more calls from the fucking Pistons, dog. Don't answer no more fucking calls, bro. I don't know if I'm getting these jobs with the Pistons through Kelly services or I don't know what the hell
Oh,
it is,
hold on, dog. Yo, my Indeed acting up, man. My Indeed acting up,
man. Oh my
man.
god. Go ahead.
We talked about it, bro. Just like from a standpoint of what does K need?
Mm,
Everything K need was given to him, right?
yeah.
And in a youth version too. Like they gave him a youthful version of it. You still
Right.
got your European wing, who's a shooter, but got some craftiness to create a little bit.
Mm,
Um, I put it in the chat the other day, man. But I played against Fontecchio when he was a teenager. You know
oh
what I'm
really?
saying? I'm 2-0 against him. 2-0 against him. When he played at Bologna, but I definitely played against him. I got one of my coldest dunks against, not against him, but against his team.
Okay.
Uh,
That's one of
but
them 30 bodies in 30 days.
oh, it's on there. It's on there. Yeah, it's on there. It's on there, man. But I think he's a huge addition, man, because it's you can't understate. We talk about having 3 and D guys. I don't think Fontecchio is a D guy yet, but
Mm,
it's one thing to say, let me just put specialists around our 2 main players, but
right.
you put a specialist who's able to create for himself. So now that's not all the time, but every now and then you can run something for him. That's just not just a shot, but like, hey, look, Simone got it going. Let's run some actions to get him to cook a little bit, just so we can forget about Cade and Ivy defensively a little bit more, and
Yeah.
and and more especially the thing with Fontecchio is that I think that even though he's got a little bit of creative, like he got the ability to create his own shot, he still plays Italian style basketball where it's like his usage rate is gonna stay low. Because we had that conversation last week. Look,
Hmm.
if I'm gonna give Ivy 35% usage rate and I'm gonna give K 40% usage rate, ain't there's no more room for anybody else to have the ball for real. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you need
True.
guys
True.
around him. Like that's one thing Bogey needed to put on the ground a little bit. You need guys around him, around them who can catch and shoot or catch and cook real quickly and get rid of it. So I think that's a big pickup. I think a underrated um, move is a non-move. They didn't have to get rid of Sasser. They kept Sasser. That's huge, bro.
So that's gonna be the. So you think he gonna be that leader off the bench?
I think maybe not. I mean, he already impacts the game this year, but I
Hmm.
think like next year, not from the standpoint of James, like not to disrespect James Harden's greatness, but
Hmm.
Harden came off the bench on that early OKC,
You're right. Right.
that
Yeah.
early
Yeah. The
OKC.
run.
Yeah, so Sasser could become that type of person that's like, yo, let's let's make he's part of the big three, but he's just off the
Oh,
bench because we can't put all three of them on the court together. As far as the big three in the back court, you know what I'm
okay.
saying? He's big time like that. He's big time like
Hmm.
that. Quentin Grimes,
His college backcourt teammate.
that's a huge bench pickup. I don't know if he don't. I mean, because they would start from M.K.U, so never mind. I think Grimes will stay on the bench, but he's a starter. You know, he
I
started.
mean, I see that on a lot of New York Knicks pages. I've seen a lot of
Yeah,
fans is like, "Yo, we hate to really have let him go because they liked him," but they was like, "Yo, but getting Bogey and Burks back, it was like that set us up even better." So they didn't really want to see him go, but it was just like we get
yeah,
it because it put us in
yeah.
a better spot.
Troy Brown as a small as a smaller four man. I like that. He can shoot the ball, but he plays defense, so he don't. So Monty don't lose from that defensive standpoint. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the floor open, bro. What was is there anything you didn't like?
Well, you heard me in the chat, man. I was like, maybe, maybe the fan in me was just so big. I was like, yo, I want y'all niggas to make a move. Like, I didn't really care, but I did want like a solid piece back.
Yeah,
I wasn't. It wasn't the splash that I wanted, but it gave me the quality that I needed. So that's why I'm cool with it. I was like I was glad to see Kevin Knox gone, not just because he really wasn't doing too much, but it was like, man, quit putting this kid through this torture, man. I was kind of seeing that.
yeah,
I don't know if you remember, man, but I kind of called Burks to the Knicks like a month or two ago and was like, yo, I can see him going back to the Knicks for some reason.
yeah.
Bogdanovich, I never thought that he would have ended up with the Knicks. I thought he would have ended up somewhere like Dallas or the Lakers or something. I thought he was
Mm-hmm.
going to end up there. Um, the Killian thing, I wanted him traded, but then waiving him, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Um, you know, I guess it's kind of like a mix in between both topics, Killian and the trades. But
Yeah,
um, I had just read this morning about how Troy Weaver was saying like it was his shooting is what made them trade him. Like they was like, yo, he got the size to be the defender and stuff, but it was his shooting. And I was like, well, I mean, did it take y'all that long to figure that out? Because I seen this shit 2 years ago. So,
right. You know,
um,
blessings to the young man.
yeah, yeah,
Shit.
blessings to him for sure. But it's like, yo, I don't mind him playing for another team. I mean, but I just feel like he never had a big body of work for people to even fill out of how can we even use him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to jump off topic and not to jump off the team and players and things, but I want to
Please
give a
do.
quick example. Dennis Smith Jr., I felt like at one point was in that little purgatory,
Mm-hmm.
like where it was like nobody really knew how to use him because you had too many point guards like him already being a primary scorer and the ball handler, right? So it
Yeah.
was like, well, but damn, he don't really shoot as good as them, and he may not be as efficient as them. So it was kind of like this moment where he was just there, and the game was trying to catch up with him, or he was trying to catch up with it. And that's how I kind of feel with Killian. Like after a while, he's gonna find a spot. Like this is his first time leaving the
Nah,
Pistons. You don't think he is?
I don't. Nah, man. I think he'll be a great EuroLeague guard, man, in the near future. I just
Man,
think that Dennis Smith is a. First of all, man, Corey's joining us.
oh
Kory
look at
Woods.
we got the
Kory getting
president in
all
the
on
house.
MLive, baby. The president, baby.
I'm
Corey.
trying to figure out what's going on with my camera.
Hey, man. Hey,
Hold
that's
Hey,
on.
what?
breaking news, baby. Hey,
Let me see something real
but
quick. Let me see what's going on with this camera situation real quick. Hold on.
yeah. Hey,
For
so
sure, for
so
sure.
I feel like the difference between Dennis Smith and Killian is that Dennis Smith is a scorer and an explosive scorer. Been that since he
Hmm.
was in middle school.
Hmm.
He just a guy. Even his shooting, he can fill it up from behind the 3 point line. He's just streaky.
Mm.
That's a big difference than not being able to shoot.
Yeah,
It's like
it's true too.
he's a
I
rhythm
get
guy.
that.
He needs you to watch him rhythm into 6, 7 threes, and dribble into his spots, just like a guy like James Harden. He don't shoot as well as him. But Dennis Smith has the potential to score 30 any night. Killian Hayes can't score 30 every night. You
No,
know,
you
and,
true.
and,
That's true.
and
That's
yes,
true.
he can play defense, but the way this league is built, especially in the point guard spot, only playing defense is not good enough to keep you in the game. You can't. It's only a couple spots on the court where you can hide, where you can't shoot the ball, and they're both called dunker spots. And like the dunker spots and the 45, and that's only because you cut into the basket. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't be on the ball and not be a consistent shooter. You can't be in the corners and not be a consistent shooter. Like so, it's tough to put you places on the court if you can't shoot the ball. So unless he learns the shooting skill, or
Mm-hmm.
at least perfects the second level, I mean, he'll play on like a couple more teams, man. But you'll see him turn into Frank Nitika.
Oh my God! And I thought that kid was gonna be something for some reason.
Oh man, it's it's gonna start getting harder and harder to draft French guards. They're gonna start. They've been getting off of Tony Parker long enough. That's
Okay.
about to dry up, man. That's about to dry up soon because people are not gonna keep taking risks on kids who you got to show me you can shoot before I draft you. Not oh yeah, and it's true because some people learn how to shoot after they get in the NBA, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I have the patience for that.
Right, and I never understood that, man. Like, even like with somebody with who I like, and people kind of forgot, and he's still young in the league, but Markel Folks.
Hmm.
Like, I like Markel. I think Markel got game. I think he
Yeah.
got game. But when the Sixers took him, and then of course he got hurt, but then they was like, "Yo, we're trying to fix his shot and all that stuff." I'm like, but y'all drafted him though, like, and y'all
Yeah.
drafted him high.
So his situation is different. So he had my a good friend of mine, Benjamin Uzo. Ben Uzo. He's in the front office of the Raptors. He played with me on the national team. He was my point guard on the national team. He was
Okay.
his rookie year. He played with the Raptors, and he played at Tulsa, University of Tulsa, and he said it's upper thoracic something syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, forgive me, Ben, for not knowing the exact thing because you done told it to me 50 times. But basically, something starts to happen from a neuromuscular point. You have an early accident. An accident happens some point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a physical accident, and what it ends
Okay.
up doing is it messes something up, and that affects this everything here. So, and for him,
Oh.
Ben specifically, he doesn't, for Ben specifically, is when he starts to shoot, it doesn't even hurt, but it's like when you start to shoot, it dies on the way up. So it's so hard to have a complete shooting motion because it
Oh, okay.
messes up. And I
And
don't
this is
know.
what ESPN don't tell you.
You're right, and and I don't know if this public information or not, but so Markel, I think it is public. I hope it is public. Markel Fultz had an injury early into his career. People don't know, man. He was a great. Go look at his stats. He was a great shooter in Washington.
Yeah,
You know,
I like them
he
in
had he
Washington.
had a flicker. He had it in Washington, man. Something happened,
Mm-hmm.
and then right after that happened, man, boom, that whole thing just stopped. It messed up on him. Go watch his shot, man. That's not real. Like everybody's like, what's happening? He didn't shoot like that last year. Yeah, he had something happen. It's not the same
No.
anymore. So that's kind of his situation. His situation a
Okay.
little different. But to watch the kid, to scout a kid, to see their shooting motion, to watch somebody's form and habits and percentages and numbers and said, we'll take a chance on. I mean, and it's you have to do a bunch of other things special. You gotta do a bunch of other things special for people to still be like, yo, I'll take that chance on you, man. And ain't no telling the real reason behind that
Mm-hmm.
drafting him so high, but you know, wish him the best. But I do think that the best thing that could have happened to Ivy is not having to fight
Yeah.
for for that
Yeah.
usage and the minutes. You saw his IG post?
Yeah. It was it's what I expect for somebody his age.
Yeah. Hey,
But it's real though.
that
It's
it
real.
was real.
I thought it was
So
a
you
little
know he
petty
coached.
too, though. I thought it was a little petty
Yeah,
too.
for sure. But I mean, I would say you always got to keep it professional. But if you can't, I always assume there's a reason why. Like it takes me back to that Boondocks where he'd be like, "I wonder what he did to make them so mad."
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it
Oh
instantly
wow.
you start connecting dots in your head. Like, man, they probably didn't rock with each other. I mean, not to add to the fact that they fighting for the same minutes, but man, they probably didn't rock with each other. And ain't no telling. Like, you know what really? And I don't want to put nothing on anybody, but when the story broke that Killian's camp was asking to be traded,
Hmm.
it told me something about Killian. It told me that he wasn't self-aware.
Okay.
it What it taught me was that he didn't see himself how we see him. And as an athlete, you got to have some level of cognitive disability. You need it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I walk around here all the time like, yeah, man, my fans think I suck. I suck. You're only gonna keep being trash. You got to have some bit of like, man, f them. I got it. But at the same time, seeing him ask for a trade, in my opinion, from the only team that'll give him a starting job in the NBA, it let me know that he's got some. I think it's called cognitive dissonance. Like he doesn't really understand himself. So if he doesn't fully understand himself, there's no
Hmm.
telling what type of attitude and energy he has around the team. Like, man, I'm that. You play with guys like that. Like, man, I'm
So,
him.
so would you say would it be somewhat of a culture shock from him being over in France and the way how the interaction between fans or interaction between just the community over there and then how we interact over here? Because they might be a little bit more patient over there, but them guys been playing professional
Nah,
ball since they not. They not okay. Well,
nah,
tell
they
me because I
crazy.
ain't
Nah,
even with the
European
natives,
fans, man. Huh?
even with the natives.
Man, European fans are cutthroat, but if they love you, they love you. They love harder and they
Hmm.
hate harder.
Oh, that's
Their
nasty.
extremes are worse. So they fall in love with you harder and they hate you harder. You know what I'm saying? So they probably loved them. I mean, but I think you're still right. They probably love Killian. He
Okay.
probably was as a young stud. He probably was like he probably got all the love he needed and believed in himself. And he got to keep believing in himself, but he's got to fix his jump shot in the NBA. He doesn't need that jump shot in Europe. He doesn't need it in Europe. He needs it when you're on the ball in Europe. You don't need to be a great 3-point shooter because you can still run my offense without being able to shoot.
Okay.
If we go on the screens, we'll just rescreen it. There's different things we can do. You
Hmm.
know, but when you get to the league with the spacing on the court, with the 3-point line being pushed higher up, you can't not be able to shoot. You know what I mean? Not on the ball. That's a tough spot to not be able to shoot. I just go under every screen. I'll drop with my defense, I'll
Hmm.
drop with my big, and then I'll just go under every screen, man, and dare you to shoot it.
I think that's a basic principle just a basic skill that every point guard should have. You should be able to shoot. You should be
That's
able to shoot. Like you have, like I need your shooting skills to be just on tack as your decision making. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like because I need that defender to be aware that you're a threat no matter what you do. And if you're not willing to take this shot, and if you ain't comfortable taking this shot, like you said, you going under picks. I'm daring you to shoot this shit now. And now that you know that I'm daring you to shoot it, now you
Oh, he
trying
could.
to make it.
He
Yeah,
could.
now, yeah. Once you aware of it, nigga, I'm over. It's over. You didn't took, bro. You
He
average
could.
5 shots a game, nigga. It's the second quarter, and you didn't took you didn't took 6 shots. I'm in you now. No homo.
Yeah.
But I'm in
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. You
I'm on
could.
you. Yeah,
You
you
could,
could.
man. And
Yeah.
to kind of and to segue and piggyback at the same time, watching the Clippers game, it's
Mhm,
just different, bro. It was. I know they lost, and it's
mhm.
funny. My boy called it to it because I was celebrating the fact that they might pull off a big win. In my opinion, the best team in the West at their
Yeah,
own
I
crib.
wouldn't. I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, and man, just the grown dogs like the OG Hoopers, they just took over. PG took over, man. PG took over that game, but it was so. And this is kind of back to our conversation last week of Thunder and Lightning. Who started off that game? Jay Knight, just bang in transition. He at the rim, hitting shots. And then when the pace of the game finally slowed down, Cade had, I believe, 2 points in the first quarter. I got to go back and check, but he had 4 assists also, and I think you're gonna see that trend a lot, where K starts the game off managing it. I gotta get Ivy going. I gotta find my shooters. I gotta get Jalen Duren something at the basket. Let everybody get the feel of the game, and then once the defense adjusts to the game and starts to slow the pace down, all right, it's time for me to probe. And that's kind of what happened, man. And the only thing I would say is K went through a small stretch of the game where he wasn't that efficient at the rim, and that might have been how they pulled back in the game. But it was dope to see it, man. Fontecchio was cooking early. Kory just hopping on, so it's a perfect time to pick on him. Kory has an elite habit of being a smart ass off of what people say. So the second Fontecchio started Hooper, he was like, that same guy y'all said who? That's who. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah.
so Simone, you start to see how, oh shoot, like, yo, my man's kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? You see the spacing. Anytime K wanted, he got to the elbow. Anytime he wanted to get to an elbow, he got to an elbow, man. And to me, that's all I wanted to see. We talked about that before. He couldn't find elbows. That's his spot. He worked off of both elbows. He loves to stop going right, unlike a lot of players. A lot of players just keep going, but he really loves to attack elbows, and he couldn't this whole season. Now he's getting to the elbow, and it's, oh, you helping? Kick, shot. Oh, you not helping? All right, let me cook. And he had a couple sloppy passes, man, but it was good. It was good to see him being able to operate with space. And defensively, man, they flying because they're younger. So even if they're not great, defenders, man, they got a younger roster out there. Troy Brown, for him to be kind of a vet, he's young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how old is
So
he?
I don't know. I just know he's not that
Troy
old.
Brown, I think Troy Brown is, like, if I'm not mistaken, around 24, something like that.
Damn, that's your vet?
Yeah. Troy Brown is 24 years old.
That's
Oh
tough,
man.
man. That's tough. And yeah, so that for me, man, that was good to see. Duren was on the glass. He was doing his thing. I thought they started to, they were making it tough for him late in the game defensively, because they all can put pressure on the rim. One thing that I don't know if y'all, late in the game, they started to hit Kawhi. So every time Kawhi would get the ball, especially if he got the ball on the right wing, K to go, or whoever was guarding the next person will go, and they would send two, which is risky to do against a team that got killers. But they
Yeah.
was like, hey, look, we gonna lose PG, because up to the last game, PG wasn't playing well. So it's not disrespect to PG. It's just like, let's see if PG in a slump or not. So let's test that. So if
Yeah.
they took Harden out and it was only two of them in, all right, we're gonna hit Kawhi, get the ball out of his hands, see if somebody else could beat us. And whenever somebody's trying to hit your team, the smartest thing you can do is put your next coldest hooper as one pass away. So what do? They put PG right at the top. And PG took over late, man. He hit some big shots, got that dunk on Ivy and Duren. So that kind of put the game kind of put the game away a little bit, man. But hey, I saw a lot of promise that game, man. It was a different team. Different
Well,
team.
apparently PG did too, because PG had something to say after the game about K. He echoed what we heard Kevin Durant say. Yo, K
Yep.
gonna be a problem, and he gonna be an issue. And I like that, bro, because we, as residents of Detroit, fans of the team, we ain't really had nobody that are, you know, their peers want to talk about them like that. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? Like I was, last time we had a bona fide star in my eyes was Green Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like just an all out star that you can market everywhere. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? That's the last one to
that's
me.
fair. That's
You
fair.
know what I'm saying? Because like I ain't, but I
That's fair.
like that. I feel like I love that the players are speaking out. Like, yo, this dude can ball, because it gives us as fans something to look at and hold on to. Like, yo, all right, bet this is our guy. This is if they paying attention to him, maybe we should be paying more attention to him, and maybe we should be pushing the front office to get him more help. Like anything else, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. Wednesday night at LCA is the most depressing shit I ever been to. I'm not gonna lie.
Tried the Kings game when the Pistons shot 76% in the first quarter, and
I was there.
They were about to look like they were about to boat race the Kings, and then that 20% second quarter came, and it was just like, what happened?
Yeah,
I was there.
That was one of those games where I'm not going to say anybody's names because I don't want anybody to be disrespectful, but there were some people that were just like, I'm broken. just from it was from a work standpoint. It's like, I'm broken. It's you thinking you're seeing something that's about to change, and then it didn't.
Yo, and real quick, man, the PG point. It's funny, man. I literally the other day when K started cooking late. It took him a minute, but he started cooking late in that Clippers game. And we told I said Cade, I told my boy, I said Cade is a less athletic Paul George. Three ball's not the same, but he's a less athletic Paul George, man. Like that's how I was like, yo, he watching PG cook on one end, then watching K cook on the other end. I'm like, nah, that's your little brother.
They both smooth. I'll say that for sure.
He got the smooth, tall. Yo, can you speed up game? You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
They for sure. But nah, man. I think I know who you talking about. That was broken, Kory. I think I could probably take a guess, but we won't guess on live, man. What's the energy like around the team, bro?
Hold on one second. Somebody just sent me something real crazy. Okay, let me get back. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I would say this. I'm not on the road, so I don't know what the energy is like around the team as far as, since the new trades or whatnot. But it felt like guys were playing hard. It's just like they just couldn't figure it out, and they were just frustrated with not being able to figure it out. I mean, it's not a bad team. You're seeing them come out and play some of the best teams in the NBA and getting off to nice starts. It'll be different. They're just getting blown out right out the gate. No, they're competing hard over those first 1 to 2 quarters. It was just the closing out of the games. That was the real big issue, and that was what was frustrating all those guys. And they were taking, and to their credit, a lot of people were asking, what's the relationship like with Monty Williams? At least from what I've seen, it was not bad. Guys were just taking accountability of what was going on within themselves and what they have to fix. And I mean, I will say after these recent, which is kind of crazy, they're 4-6, and we're talking about recent string of victories. But after these recent string of victories, it's like after these recent string of victories, it's like, okay, we're starting to get it. And I would say this. I want to say this about Monty Williams. First, there's 2 things I want to say. First off, it's crazy that the Pistons will own the single season longest losing streak in NBA history, and they still may not finish with the worst record in the NBA. That's going to be crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're gonna catch the Wizards. They're gonna catch the Wizards.
Oh yeah, I believe they definitely have a shot to catch the Wizards. So that's one thing. The second thing I was going to go back was on my first point would be about Monty Williams, and I think that he was thrown into and this is no excuses. This is just my opinion of the situation. I think he was thrown into a situation where it was going to be unwinnable until they made some moves. Because you still have to think they brought back a lot of pieces from that 17-win team last season. If you're bringing back a lot of the same pieces from the second worst mark in franchise history, and you're expecting to do better just off of the coach, but you don't necessarily change some of the pieces. I think that's insanity. You know what they say, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Right.
So, yeah. So I think that even if Dwayne Casey, who I think is a phenomenal coach, if people say if we had Dwayne Casey would still be in the same boat. I think because they did not improve, they did not make the necessary changes. I think that what Troy Weaver did at the trade deadline was honestly everything he could do. You're talking about they went into that trade deadline, I believe. They went into the deadline a 7-win team. They won the 8th that night, but they went into the deadline a 7-win team. So you're having a lot of pieces that are already devalued. As great as Cade is, Cade's a bit devalued. Jalen. I mean, the one thing that I think was smart was, first off, they kept that core four together. Cade, Ivy, Asar, Duran. Keep those four together and figure everything else out.
They kept six young, good pieces. Sasser and Wiseman. Throw them two into that pot.
Yep.
Okay, because I let go of Wiseman a long time ago, but okay.
No, but wait, I'm telling you, you're gonna start to see him play better.
I'm seeing Wiseman in practice. Wiseman can ball. He's trying to figure it out. And I mean, you're also got to go with Wiseman. He's going from a situation in Golden State where they didn't really develop him. He came into a situation last year where he just got thrown into the mix. So now he's gone through a real offseason training camp and working with Mark Bryant. He's working with the bigs coach, that's somebody that's actually dedicating time towards him working around the rim. Like me and Shane have had some conversations. I won't go into too much detail, but some of the things I've seen Wiseman do in after practice last year compared to this year is different, and you can take that however you want to.
Hey, that's the question, man. Who was working with him last year?
I don't remember his name. I want to say it was Andrew. This may be bad for me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But
it's cool. I'm looking at Shane.
That's professional. Way to dodge that, Kory. Don't answer that question, man. That's good. Good job.
So listen. All right. Now that the dust is settled with the trades and Killian is pretty much on his, on his way back to France. He should be on the flight, right? Ivy.
He was on the same flight as me. Back to Europe. hey man, when he got on the flight, I thought he was gonna go left. He, go left to first class. He went back to the right with me, man. He went to coach. God. We went to economy together, man. My bad. All right, I'm done.
Listen,
I'm done, Kory. My bad.
So Ivy, where does he end the season with his stat line? Because lately he's been lighting his scoreboard up with 37 with his career high.
So I pulled this up because I sent y'all the tweet that I made. But I didn't do the updated total, so I'm just going to go going into yesterday's game. Going into yesterday's game, over the past 15 games, Ivy was averaging 20.7 points on 47% from the field and 44% from 3-point, 5 assists and 4.5 rebounds. Since that six games before, when Donovan Mitchell spoke glowing about him after the game, and then Russell Westbrook, 23.7 points on 50% shooting, 61% from 3-point, 4.5 assists and 4.7 rebounds. And when you're hearing those numbers, you do have questions. You wonder, hey, why is this usage coming now? And when we spoke to Troy Weaver on Friday, I did bring that up because, the reason I brought it up is because Monty Williams put the T out there. He said that he had to take ownership for the usage of Jaden Ivey, and there was an organizational meeting about that usage. And I asked Weaver, like, hey, what was that organizational meeting about? And he said they have those talks all the time. I mean, maybe we may have taken that quote and blew it up a little bit too much. But he said they talk about concepts and how to use players all the time. Just that particular meeting was about Jaden Ivey. But I think about here's my thing. And I think this is where I think this is, and I don't even think this is criticism. I think this is just a fair question. When you have a guy that is that has started 73 of 74 games last year, made the Rising Stars game, averaging about 17 points, and that guy starts the season off on the bench, you are wondering, like,
Why?
what's going on? Because
Yeah.
in the end of season meetings, and you can pull this up, Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey both professed they cannot wait to get a full offseason and a training camp together. And Cade just said, look, I'm more concerned about Ivey the player, Ivey the person, as opposed to him on the court. We're going to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
We're both committed to figuring that out. And you see the connection those two guys. Those two want to be the backcourt together. So I think the fact that they were not able to start that to the beginning of the season, that is just
Yeah, that's tough.
it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for some people. I know I kind of went off track there, but
no, man. You. It was necessary. Yo,
That's
Matt.
what you're here for.
To answer your question, man, I would say similar to what Kory said he's done. I think with Cade on the floor and you keep those shooters healthy, I say he's 23 a game, 4 or 5 assists a game. I think it's hard to say three ball because guys go on slumps all the time, and
yeah.
I'm not convinced that he's a 44% 3-point shooter.
No.
So I can see that dipping. I can see it dipping just like he goes through a hot spell, it goes through a cold spell. But
Right.
paint gonna be wide open, man, and I think he's gonna score. He's gonna score 10 points in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock. He'll score another 5 or 6 on the free throw line and score the rest in half court. He gets to the basket he's a young Westbrook. He's got
He's
a lot of Westbrook.
explosive too, bro. Like
Explosive.
I didn't see him take off on somebody before and was like, whoa, he did that in full stride. Like he doing that full steam on.
So right now, last year Ivy finished the season 34% from beyond the arc. Right now he's 37.4. I say if he with that that dip you talked about, I think if he can finish somewhere between 35 and that 37 where he's at, that's damn good.
Yeah. And Matt, the numbers I gave you is what I think he can do from the trade, the big trade day to the end of the season, not from the start of the season, because those numbers are obviously skewed because he didn't play as much as he probably could have. So from when we got those trades, I'm even counting from. I'll even remove the 37 ball. I'm talking about from when Fontecchio and company stepped on the court in LA to the end of the season.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, he might lead us in scoring, and K might let him. K might let him lead us in scoring, and K be a close second.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna wait a little bit. I might be tipping my hand with this. I almost wrote it, but I really do think they should go into where the focus is of Ivy being the primary scorer and then Cade being the facilitator. That doesn't mean that Cade can't go get a bucket, because we know Cade can go get 35, 40, but he doesn't have to be as effective. Cade can just get off when he needs to, whereas Ivy can shoulder that scoring load. And we've seen that both of them are great decision makers with the basketball. That can only grow. So I really do think that it should be a lot of focus on Ivy being the scorer, because he is just can't nobody guard him. when he's on. Hey, this is us. This is us. When he on tip, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it's cooked. No, man, that first quarter, man. Hey, I said, all right. I said, okay, this is gonna get ugly. It's about to be a good second half.
And I think Mitchell and Westbrook put that battery in his back. So now it's just like, oh, okay, it's no time.
But what's even crazier is like those two people even saying that about him. That would be the room that I would say his style would favor anyway. So it's kind of like real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? I do like that. I do like that. I ain't gonna front. So Kory, to kind of jump back to what you were saying about K willing to take a step back, and let Jaden be the primary. Would you say that's somewhat similar to what you see with PG and Kawhi? Somewhat, because I don't like Kawhi. Kawhi seems like he really comes out there like, yeah, I want to get in rhythm, but in the meantime, I want to get my guys together first, and then because it'd be some games where PG look like he the star player on the team. He look like he the best player on damn near in the Western Conference.
I think there's dynamics a little bit different because at the end of the day, Kawhi's still a two-time Finals MVP.
Yeah, that's true.
Two-time champ.
I wasn't talking. I was just talking about the more.
Yeah. So it's more so like if Kawhi want to take that backseat, cool. If Kawhi want that ball.
Yeah, and that's what I think, and that's what I think K would do. Like, I could see K doing that. Like, yo, all right, bro, roll it back.
But I don't see K doing it. I think they're dynamic, and this is still a loose one. You can rip it apart, but because I'm going to talk about two guys that are, I guess you could say unaccomplished. I would say it's more so like Cat taking the backseat to Ant-Man. Because
he had no choice though.
But again, if Ivy keeps going at this clip, and we're just going off of a small sample size. If he keeps going at this clip where he's getting these 23, 24s on a consistent night, and he's able to drop that occasional 30, you might. The thing is, I see K being more of a guy that just wants to get everybody involved. I don't see him being a guy that necessarily. I don't think what makes K great is predicated on him scoring. I think he's just so damn good that I can go get that 40 ball if I need to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
But they're so good together that I don't really see, like, even if I don't see either one of them having an issue with whoever goes off. I just think they want to just get it right.
Win, just get it right. Yeah. So you mentioned this guy's name twice, Asar. So what role do you think he's going to just permanently have? Is he going to be your primary defender, kind of like that role Tayshaun had? Not so much as in the 3-point shooting, but just being the defender, being able to guard that primary ball handle on the other team when needed. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what you think he's going to be from the.
I just off of what I'm looking from Asar, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to make Cade Cunningham's life a lot easier because he's going to be taking that tough defensive assignment every single night and take pride in it.
Jr. too.
Yeah. And those guys are gonna make Cade's life a lot easier, and who knows, that might prevent him from, I'm not gonna say make him work less, but Cade's had some injuries, so with those guys being able to step up and take those tough assignments, that might be able to allow him to kind of rest when needed. I know Kobe talked about that sometimes, with the way he plays. So I do think though the one thing that's still gonna have to happen for Asar is he's definitely gonna have to work on that shot. But I mean, after hearing what Troy Weaver had to say Friday about Killian, I don't think that Asar is gonna have that issue.
I think that I think Asar, the best thing that might happen to Asar is getting Troy Brown, because now it gives us offensive versatility where it's like we can mix him with somebody else who does spread the floor. because before I think when he was playing with Stu, that put a lot of pressure on him. But now, if the offense is right, and you have Troy Brown is 1-3-4, and you got Osar as the other 3-4, or you have Fontecchio as the 3. Now it's like, okay, maybe I can't shoot the ball yet, but I'm
Mhm.
around other shooters. So yeah, you might be able to help off of me, but there's still going to be somebody lost in transition because you gotta go find the shooter. So I think that helps him a lot. It's a lot tougher when both wings can't shoot consistently, and then now it really clogs everything up. So and then when you can put some lineups out there where you do a lot of switching. I saw K slide his feet on Paul George yesterday. I was seeing him competing defensively a little bit too. That was cool. That was cool,
Ain't that
man.
the best? Don't that shit get you hyped when you see a nigga go out there and play defense for real?
Yeah,
I be
dog.
in the
Like
crib
hey,
clapping like, yeah, I be smacking floors and all that shit.
that's it. That's it. He picking him up full. He picking him up full court. He reaching, trying to see if PG will mess up on the dribble. I said, okay, all right, we on to something here, man. We on to something.
And
But
and
man,
Shane, you keep mentioning Fontecchio. That's your guy. I see that's your guy.
nah, I mean, I don't, I'm just happy that we have a young shooter that can just give space, man. And I'm gonna wear that connect. I'm gonna talk about it like me and him was homies. But hey, man, anytime we discuss the NBA guy that I played against, y'all gonna hear about it. I'm gonna act
I'll
like
say this.
and I'm gonna make it sound like I was cooking them, whether I was or not.
As you should.
I'll say this about what I saw about how Fontecchio fit in. Even though they lost to the Clippers, I see how he's going to fit in with this club long term. I mean, he provides the spacing, but also too he does something that I'm not going to say Bogey didn't do, but from that one small game sample size with this unit, it looked like he did
Mm-hmm.
better, and that was being able to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim.
What I say, Matt?
Yeah, you did. You
I
say
What I
mean,
he
it's
say?
you
That's
it's
a
say
it's
big
you
it's,
say he
it's
difference.
got you say he got the Euro, he got the
he he
drive,
can
he got
he
it.
can he can move, and I'm like, okay, Bogey could do it, but I mean, it was like the old man finesse game. This right here, you're
Yep.
seeing is
Yeah.
athleticism that blends
Yep.
in. Where now, we can you can push the pace with Bogey, but you can't run the floor. This was where they look like they was in like a track meet almost. I'm like, okay, they running, they in
Yeah.
rhythm.
Yeah, bro. That's how like Bogey to me. I like Bogey, but Bogey reminded me of that guy at LA Fitness. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't put the ball on the floor, but if you give him some space, he knocking it down. But it wouldn't really move with him, man. It just seemed like every time the ball got in his hand, it got a little stagnant if he wasn't really shooting it around the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? My
You talking
bad,
about
Shane.
OG? You talking about OG hooping with the hoodie on?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But broken ball though. Broken ball. You see him in
But he's
there every
nice.
time. But he
He's
nice, but
trying to
you
get
like,
his sweat
man,
off.
yeah, bro. You like, bro, they about to run. This is about to be a track meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that the Pistons it was a mistake to hold on to Bogey as long as they did. I'm really shocked that Troy went ahead and admitted that they had better offers for Bogey last year and Bogdanovich. I was real shocked to hear him actually admit that but he said that his rationale was that people were going to say, well, this team needs some vets, and you could
Not
say
him
that,
though.
but I was going to say, but to combat that, you're still going to have those draft picks, and
Ooh,
then you can still go ahead and sign veterans and add them
I'm
to the
close.
offseason. Because I mean, Bogey didn't play it. Bogey last year dealt with an Achilles injury, and it wasn't a tear or anything like that, but it was still an Achilles injury. And then he ended up missing the first 18 games of the season. Well, no, take that back. 19 games of the season. So it's like when you got a guy that is 35 years old and he has an Achilles injury, and you're trying to bank with him being a solution, whether as a starter or a six, 7 man long term, I think that is not ideal.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a drag for sure.
Man,
Yeah.
dog, Sunday, I'm in London. I'm gonna go get me some fish and chips.
Yeah,
I'm
see
about
about
to
that.
watch Nigerian. I'm about to watch Nigerian football team win the African championship. I'm not
Oh,
watching the
you
Super Bowl. Don't talk to me about it. I'm not watching it.
I'm not.
I'll hear about whoever wins, dog. It still hurts.
Hey, bro, I was just at Aldi, and the dude asked me was I watching the game. I said, "No, man, I'm just going for the wings."
No,
Man.
so true story. I'm at Levi Stadium. It's halftime. One of my friends, she texts me. She says, "Oh my God, Kory, you gotta be so hyped right now. I mean, we're about to go to the Super Bowl." And I said, look, I'm not trying to be negative. Pump your brakes. I watched way too much. I watched way too much football.
Come on, man.
She jinxed y'all.
I didn't celebrate it. I didn't celebrate
She jinxed
much,
y'all.
man.
She jinxed
Yeah.
y'all. She jinxed everybody.
Hey, Ed had to come in on that one. He had to come in on that.
Whoever that is, dog, tell her thank you so much.
Bro, and listen, bro, listen.
I got the text message to show you. I watched too much football. I said, check back in with me around the fourth quarter. But I said I watched way too much football. And
it's the Lions.
Bro, look, and
it's not even the Lions, it's football. But
yeah,
bro, I was sitting over here watching the game, and then in the first half, everything was going our way. And I play Madden a lot, right? So in Madden, if everything is going right like it is, the second half gonna be terrible because the AI something about to go wrong, bro. When Gibbs fumbled, I was like, "There it is."
No. I'll tell you when I knew they were gonna lose.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
When they went for the field goal at the end of the first half, as opposed to going for the touchdown.
Yeah, my mom had asked
that was
me.
it. That was it. We broke character.
Yeah. Because I said, wait a minute, Dan, you're aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When they didn't go for it, then I'm like, it's over.
Go ahead. I gotta slide out. About to go ahead and do the show. So.
Nah, man, wrap it up. We good anyways,
yeah, I think we
man.
finished. Yeah,
oh,
we
yeah,
good.
Okay,
yeah,
we're closing out then.
We're closing out,
nah,
Shane.
Matt had it, man. Hey,
yeah, Matt, go ahead, close it out.
Matt had a great
listen, man.
intro.
Thank you for episode showing up for episode 2. We appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? We're part of the most unknown. That's it, right? You get it.
Most known unknown.
Most known unknown. Okay.
M.K.U, man.
Thank you, Kory, man, for pulling up, bro. Thank you, man. You really did show up, bro. I appreciate that.
No problem. Now I'm about to go hop into another one.
Shane, man, prayers out to you, bro, and what you got going on, man. Safe travels back home and everything. Take it easy.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'll let y'all.
Yep. Appreciate you.